Alright, we gotta talk about Daredevil because, man, there's a lot to say. He's a mashup character. Like, that's not even, like, debatable. Daredevil has Iron Fist parry, except it deflects CC. He has Moon Knight's grapple, Wolverine's lunge, Black Panther's wall run, Captain America's projectile throw, Cloak's blind with his ultimate. And it's like, dude, this is kind of crazy. Because it speaks on the fact of, like, what will future characters look like in the game? Like, are other characters just going to be rehashes of things that we already seen, or is NetEase going to be lazy? Now, just to clarify, I do not think that Daredevil is a lazy or a lazily made character. I think that he looks pretty cool. I think that they took the elements that they could and they honestly just tried to make what they, the best they can do. They did what they could, and honestly, it kind of came out well. I think his ultimate is kind of lackluster, but other than that, like, I think it came out pretty well. But it does bring up the question of, like, when you have these characters that have so many elements of things that are already in the game, does that invalidate the other characters? And I think NetEase kind of picked up on that because they just dropped the patch notes for, like, how they're going to be nerfing and buffing characters. And one of the characters who were buffed was Iron Fist. And I'm thinking, like, what if they buffed Iron Fist because they saw Daredevil and how he was moving and how they know he's going to be moving. They didn't want to invalidate Iron Fist, so they just buffed him to make him, like, usable. And I just find that kind of interesting. Like, are they, like, do they know, like, what these type of characters will do to the game? And do they know that, like, if they keep adding characters like that, they're going to have to buff the characters that are exactly like that? It is. I get it's difficult with, like, hand-to-hand combat characters, especially, like, street tiers. You're always going to have similarities, but this one is kind of, like, spot on. Like, the Wolverine lunge is the same animation. Like, and I've played games in the past where, like, we get reused to, like, elements and, like, aspects of the game. Like, I've seen that, but it does beg the question, like, what can we expect from future characters? Should we be worried about future characters? Will some characters in this game become outdated? Like, one example of this is, like, Hela and Phoenix. Now, Hela and Phoenix is a situation where it's not really that extreme, but they play very similarly. Like, they both have escape abilities. They both have, like, this exploding, like, projectile that they can set on the floor. And it's just like, it's very similar. Now, Phoenix and Hela, they do very different damage, but when you have too many characters that do the same thing, like, it can be weird. Now, one thing I do like about Daredevil is that they gave him, like, this blindness to where he can't see more than 30 meters, I believe, but he can see through walls. I'm not sure if he can see through invisibility. I don't know if they clarified that or if anybody knows about that, but I'm hoping he can, because that would be pretty cool. But yeah, I just wanted to get you guys' like opinion, like, on mashup characters. Like, are we okay with characters like that being made? Because, like, we already know we want Colossus in the game. We want characters like Luke Cage in the game. We want characters like Juggernaut in the game, and we don't want that to all be the same. I'm sure none of us want that. We don't want Juggernaut playing exactly like Thing because they both charge. We don't want Colossus playing exactly like Hulk because they're super strong. Like, so we want to know the answer to this question sooner rather than later. And hopefully NetEase, they just diversify it a little bit. There's a way to do everything. I have faith in that, but Daredevil still looks good at the end of the day. So if you guys like this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.